Hey,
Hey, love.
hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well.
Nice, nice, nice.
Welcome, Avonda. We're just going to give people a few minutes to
Mm-hmm.
join.
That's no
Um,
problem.
yeah, but either way, we get started in about 2 minutes or so.
Okay, okay, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
How's your day been?
Um, okay, I guess. I haven't done much except for like prepare for this.
Okay, fine.
So it was a quiet day.
Okay. Our
What
day
about
was
you?
very, very rainy.
Rainy?
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Crystal. How are you? Yeah.
So how has this been going for you so far? Before you start, how has this been going for you so far?
Well, actually, you are my first interview, so I'll let you know.
No problem. I'm excited.
Me too, to be honest. Getting a little nervous, but
Hmm.
good to go.
But the way how your process was going, like the booking process, I will call it very, very professional, very, very well done.
Thank you.
So I figured you were very experienced.
Not with this interview process, no. So it's a
Mhm.
first. I'm good too,
Mhm.
Crystal. Hi, Juliet and Shanice. Thank you for joining. We get started in about a minute or so.
Hi, Juby.
Ah, so you were in Vancouver?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the weather like over there?
Well, today actually was the first day we had a lot of sun. It's usually really, really rainy.
Mm-hmm.
So today I had sun, so I opened the door, make sure the sun touched my skin because I don't know when it's gonna come back.
Oh, so we switched positions today.
Yes, pretty much.
Fair enough. Can't argue.
Hi guys.
Welcome. Just be cool. Like that name. All right. So we're going to get started. Um,
Okay.
so mm, welcome to the Make It Happen with Chamara interview series. And just before we get started, I'm Chamara Hollinsworth. I'm from Vision to Reality, and I help women to find their true core, embrace their self-worth, and to chart a clear path to their dream. And the purpose of this interview series is really to offer views, strategies, and stories to encourage and inspire women to tap into their inner being, embrace who they are, dream bigger, dig deeper within, take bold actions in alignment with their goals in order to live their dream with love, joy, and confidence. And joining me today is Joy Maynard. And the reason I would
Hmm.
have, well, how I would have gotten to know about Joy was through a mutual friend of ours who I hold in very high regard. So I know that this is going to be a very awesome interview. Um, awesome interview. I can see, and based on Joy's personality as well, I just know it's going to be an awesome interview. So Joy is the creative
Yes.
director of Made Photography and Design. It's a business that offers commercial photography and graphic design, including product and food photography, creative portraits, and branding materials. Joy helps small businesses to identify their brand personality and create visuals and marketing material to match that personality, taking them throughout their entire business journey. As an artsy person, Joy loves doing things with her hands and acknowledges that both of her career choices allow for her to do that. Her absolute love for creative products with other artists allows for them to be able to come together and bring one vision to life. Staying true to her name, Joy is genuinely happy for every little thing. For example, just seeing people wearing her made independence designs from her business Made in BIM really makes her feel like she's doing something right. An occasion that she says she'll never forget is being at a premiere party for the Caribbean's Next Top Model and seeing her name come up on screen in the credits as one of the assistant photographers. And one fun fact about Joy is that in order to get rid of her shy side, she threw herself in the deep end and created a live series called You Teach Me, I Teach You, where she trades business information for makeup tips. I think that's a really cool concept. I'd like to hear a little bit more about it. So, before we jump into our questions, as you know, we have a game. Well, we're going to start a game. And this game is called Would You Rather? And it's like most of the games that I have are rapid fire games. So once I ask a question, you quickly answer.
Okay.
Well, this is like choices, right?
Okay.
So, so for example, if I say night or day, you would say
night.
You like night. So it's
I
really,
hope so.
it's really what you would rather or which thing you prefer, right? All right.
Okay. I got you.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Purple or orange?
Purple.
Like me. Burger or rap?
Burger for sure.
Music or poetry?
Music.
Airplane or cruise ship?
Oh, we have a difficult one. Cruise ship.
Okay. Beach or pool?
Beach.
Conkeys with raisins or without?
With raisins, please.
Okay. All right. So that was just the game this or that. I actually call it this or that. So rather than would you rather. So our first question. Okay, so what was the brilliant idea or brilliant audacious dynamic dream that inspired you to start your business?
I didn't when I started my business, usually how things go for me, it is like what I want to do now. So this is what I want to do right now. So I didn't start my business with a big plan of how I wanted it to go, where I wanted it to be. But as of right now, my big plan is to shoot Rihanna. I need to get to shoot Rihanna.
Okay, you better be careful of your language, yeah.
I need to photograph Rihanna.
Okay, nice. Okay. So that's what your aim is. Okay. So
yes, so basically as it pertains to like my skill sets and stuff like that, I try to see, okay, well, this is what I'm doing now, this is where I want to be, and it kind of like fuels me to do better. It really fuels me to be like, this is not good enough for Rihanna, we need to do better.
Nice. Okay. So what would you say was your defining or aha moment when it came to making the decision to get into photography and graphics?
For graphics, like I said, it was a decision in and out. So I had to choose between graphics and visual arts. And I just figured graphics was an entire new world that I had never explored. And I liked what I was seeing, and I liked the different paths it could take me on. It could take me down so many different roads. So I chose the graphics. Nice. In terms of photography, I just loved it. I just loved it whenever my brother-in-law, especially, he brought a camera to my house for his purposes. The camera didn't even see him that day. Okay. So I just loved it.
Okay. So what makes you so passionate about what it is that you do?
I think it's just being able to evolve a concept. So you're thinking in your mind, okay, this is what we want. This is the end result that we want. But to be able to come from nothing to something so beautiful is what I really love about it.
Okay. I'm here laughing because I see some Namiko Exo saying that land.
I land. That's my friend, Natasha.
Well, welcome, Namitasha. Okay, so what is it that drives you to do what you do?
Um, that's a very good question because it it's a lot of different things that drive me. I want to be able to create a space for people who are doing like basically the same thing that I am, coming from trying to become an entrepreneur from a very young person. I want to create a space for them to get to be nurtured, to have the opportunities that I didn't have, to, put a spotlight on them. So I know I need to do better so I can make better for them.
Okay.
My sister, sorry, she's Shanice Super Six. She's saying that she's my muse. She's not.
Sorry, Shanice. Okay, so you were talking about being able to make space for other entrepreneurs that are looking to go into your area, which would be the photography and graphic design, and getting, at least making a way for them to be able to do so. So would you be able to tell them a bit about what it's like doing what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis?
Okay. Okay, no problem. To clarify, I meant for a young person being an entrepreneur in general. So ask me that question one more time, what it is I would do to help them.
So what if you can explain to them how it is you go about doing what you do on a day-to-day basis as an entrepreneur in photography and graphic design. I know you said all entrepreneurs just now in terms of your clarifying, but it would still be interesting to know, based on your particular profession, what that is like.
Okay, so like on a day-to-day basis, it's basically when I wake up, the first thing I do is check my emails, respond to people, and respond to their queries, and then I go along about any of the tasks that I would have assigned for myself. Usually, um, usually I would dedicate a day, 2 days to perfecting something that I having trouble difficulty doing. I would dedicate some time to learning business things. That's something I didn't do in the beginning. I was passionate about the photography, so I just did the photography. I didn't really focus on the business side. So they have to from the very beginning focus on the business side and then let their passion push them further. One thing as well that I would encourage them to do is to figure out who they want to talk to, because they can't talk to everybody in terms of their messaging, their marketing messaging. That is something else they also figured out late.
Okay.
So if you could from the very beginning figure out who you are talking to, it will make everything easier.
Okay, so who is it that you talk to? Thank you, Christabel.
I talk to creatives, and I talk to small business owners. So people who, say for instance, they have this one restaurant and they love their restaurant. This restaurant is their baby. They put their love into this baby. I talk to people who look at their business as their baby, basically. Okay. And they know they want to put a lot into nurturing them and to give them personalities and, so yeah.
Okay. So you would have mentioned that you like to do things like personal or professional development on a day-to-day basis, along with checking your emails and going about your daily tasks. My question is, I know you said listen to, I might have missed it because I tend to jot down things, but do you include books in that? Your development? You don't like reading? If you don't like reading, that's fine.
I have not read a book in years.
Okay. So what is
I'm
it?
gonna
I
be
was going to ask you what book would you recommend, but if you don't read the books,
honest.
what is it that you
Mhm.
listen to that you would recommend for somebody to listen to
Yeah,
to get their motivation?
I watch a lot of videos.
Okay.
One thing that I recommend people to do is to um, be on TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
because the nature of TikTok is to share information. So people
Mm-hmm.
there, you know how I don't know if you know how it is with young people coming up in Barbados. It's very difficult to get information from the
Mm-hmm.
older generation. So I always encourage people to go to TikTok. I got a social media course from TikTok. I got a lot of branding advice. I got a lot of business advice just from
Mm-hmm.
being on TikTok.
Okay.
So that's what I advise people to do.
I'll take that advice because
Yeah. Thank, thank you guys.
in my age group, I'm not sure, I don't like saying it, but in my age group, when I watch my daughter and her TikTok, I think is almost, I would almost think it's just about dancing. But it's good to hear that is more than that.
It is
Um,
definitely a lot more than that. They deal with personal development.
mhm,
They deal with race issues,
mhm.
a lot of different issues. I get to see different perspectives on TikTok, and it makes me think.
Okay. You're getting some really good comments here, Joy. Everybody's saying that you're giving them some really good tips and advice.
I like that. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So, um, let's move on to key question number 2. What bold and decisive action did you choose to take to get up and running or on track? Could you hold a moment for me, please?
No problem, no problem. Joy, don't cry now. I'm really trying my best not to cry. I'm gonna need y'all to tone it down a little bit so that I don't cry on here. Yeah, yeah, for TikTok, I got a lot of these social media courses. Oh, Alina, a lot of the um tips for you teach me, I teach you. I get from TikTok. I get a lot of things from TikTok. Trust me. Just by sitting on at night for 1 hour scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. That's it.
Mm.
Sorry, continue.
Okay, so sorry, I was asking what bold and decisive action did you choose to take to get up and running in this business? Um,
On the 27th of February
mhm,
2019,
mhm,
I got out of my parents' house. Me and my boyfriend, we left Barbados and we came to Vancouver so that I could go to school. That was extremely scary for me because I do not know a soul in Vancouver. I don't know a thing about Vancouver, and that is 2 flights back home if I needed to panic and go back home.
mhm.
So that was a really, really big deal for me. But I knew that I needed to change an environment to open my mind about certain things. And I knew, as much as I didn't want to, I knew it was time for me to grow up and be an adult.
Mhm.
So I figured it was time.
Okay, congratulations on that move. And it's working out well for you,
Thank
right?
you.
You're managing, you're doing well.
The being in Vancouver part, it's good. It's fine. I love
Mhm.
it. The being away from home, from my family, is the part that I have not quite figured out as yet.
Understood. And I guess you know that your family's still there to really support you, whether you're near or far, you know? So
Correct.
you got the back of it.
Correct.
So don't worry about it. Um, find it interesting that 27th February was the date you chose because that's my eldest daughter's birthday, you know? So
Yeah.
what coincidence there. Okay, so let me see what should I ask you next. All right, so in order to make this move on and to really push ahead, would you say you had to make any shifts in your perspective in order to take this action?
No.
Mhm. Good.
No, I was always the type of person that I wanted to try new things.
Mhm.
I don't think, I think the shift in perspective came after I
Okay.
left. because it made me definitely think a lot about where I came from mentally and where I came from physically, as opposed to where I am right now, which is in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
It made me think a lot. And then Corona came, everything changed for me perspective-wise.
Well, what kind of shifts would you say that you had before Corona with the move, and then after, the changes with the coronavirus?
I can say maybe I was a little naive before
Mm-hmm.
because, because of my way of thinking that I am just going to do what I want right now and we'll figure it out later, that way of thinking kind of bit me.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me realize that planning is very important. Even though I preach planning is important, I don't actually practice what I preach. And then
Mm-hmm.
I found myself in trouble. So, I was a bit naive, especially with as it came to responsibilities with adults, responsibility with relationships, everything it put on the table for me to reflect on and build from there.
Okay, okay. All right. So, what would you say life was like for you 5 years ago versus what's like now that you're doing what you're doing?
5 years ago was one of the happiest and hardest years for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I was now beginning to think of me. I was now beginning to think of, doing things to myself. Um, that was the brokest I've ever been. And that was also well, not the freest, but that was when I was beginning to get some type of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say back then I was extremely naive, extremely explorative, extremely happy and still broke at the same time. But it kind of put me on a path now to think of, okay, what does Joy want to do?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Versus now, how would you say you've changed?
I've changed because I realize it's not always about joy,
Mm-hmm.
that my business is one thing and joy is someone else, and I have to nurture them both. I can't focus on one and not the other. And I've learned to work on a team. I have learned to not only, like I said, not only think about myself, to think about other people's businesses around me, how we both can work together. I've learned about my family
Mm-hmm.
and how we are supposed to be, how to put it, it's not just, I keep saying this all the time, it's not just me. I have
Mm-hmm.
a family I have to consider, and we have to figure out how we can live with each other. We have to figure out how we can help each other and still not like just separate, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. So, based on what you were saying, what would you say to people who believe that you are your business, who believe in that concept?
I think that you are an employee of your business, and
Mm-hmm.
people have a difficulty, like even me and my friends argue about this, maybe up until today. People have a difficulty separating the two. If you brand yourself as a brand, you have a very difficult time separating yourself from your business.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes people cannot accept that we are human and we are allowed to make mistakes just like everybody else. We are allowed to mess up. We're allowed to, have emotions. We're allowed to do things.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not an excuse to do whatever you feel like. You still have to understand that you represent your business,
Mm-hmm.
but I am not like, you cannot crucify me for mistakes, if that helps.
Fair enough. I think that's an interesting concept. That's an argument that a lot of people will have because people get torn between, especially when they're the face of their business,
Mm-hmm.
between their business and who they are as a person. And then sometimes they have difficulty determining what they need to show,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the social media platforms. So when I say
Yeah.
what you need to show is like, okay, do I give all the details about my personal life, or what areas of my life am I going to allow people to get a peep into, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where some people, hello.
I think that depends. I think that depends on your brand because in the case of I don't want to call names. In the case of some people, what they put out is okay. What they want is for people to get an understanding of their life and how they live and stuff like that. In a case like that, it is so difficult for you to make mistakes because people are accustomed seeing you. People are accustomed being invested in your life. People are accustomed to um, having access to you in
Mm-hmm.
essence. When I first started, I started out branding my business as a very gender neutral, very solid, things. And I never showed my face because what I wanted from the beginning was it to be made and joy. I never wanted it to be people associating me with me.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I grew older, I understood that you need my face to be able to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that is literally the only reason why I am showing my face. Otherwise, I would have branded business as a gender neutral. You don't even know who's running it. You either like the work or you don't like the
Fair enough. All right,
work.
so we have Avonda asking, is it important to show both sides, both your side, well, you and the business?
Again, I think that's how you brand. You can choose to brand your business that way. It seems to be a lot more successful when you show both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Like business wise, it seems to be better for marketing when you show both sides and connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you choose not to show your face, you have to show something else.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of like have a gimmick kind of in a way if you don't want to show your face.
Okay. All right, so we have Matt Maynard, 246,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
saying that as a business owner, the aim should be to be in a position where you don't always have to be present for your business to function. I actually very much agree with this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then Shanice is saying to Avonda that she thinks it helps to share some of your personality and your life to make it more relatable to people because it draws
Mm-hmm.
people to you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. That was the point I was trying to make.
Okay.
But and then that's why I said it depends on your brand because as it came to the Matt Maynard, it was that say you are dealing with what do you call it, an essential business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need to show your personality if you have an essential business. Like what do you have? What you're selling it's essential. People will come.
I beg to differ because, like, for instance, in a sense, a doctor is like an essential business, but you're going to
Right.
go to a
Mm-hmm.
doctor that you connect with more, or a doctor that has a good bedside manner, so to speak. Not that you have to know their personal business, but there's something about the way that person interacts with you that invites you to come back to them. So
Mm-hmm.
even things like shops or
Mm-hmm.
supermarkets, it might not be that you need to see the person that's there,
Mm-hmm.
but the people that you're seeing on a day-to-day business, the way
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that the way they treat you would determine whether you come back. So how important is it for your business brand to have a certain type of personality, so to speak, even if it's not your personality, but like a brand
Mm-hmm.
personality?
Oh no, I agree with you 100%. I think I was mainly coming from the perspective of like say you are attracting first time clients.
Fair enough.
Right. I think I was coming more so from that
Mhm.
perspective. But no, I 100% agree with you that if it is somebody that's going to be up in your business, you really need to have a good connection.
Okay. Before I go
Mhm.
on to proper life's question. Um, I am just here smiling to myself. You said that Shanice is not your muse, but your answers are practically identical. So she might be onto something. Anyhow,
She.
um, Proper Life is asking what is the market like in here, I guess in Barbados, in photography and visual arts.
Like if I don't know the answer, I'm definitely going to tell you I don't know the answer. I left Barbados not researching it. I left Barbados not really understanding it how I should have. Like I thought I understood it. I thought I had a general idea, but I left Barbados not really understanding everything that I needed to know. What I can tell you is the artists here are breaking down the doors, making sure that they get opportunities for everyone. I can tell you the visual artists, the photographers, the videographers, they are creating opportunities. So even if the market wasn't initially that great when I left, they are breaking down barriers, making sure that there are opportunities coming in the future. So I definitely can commend them for that.
Nice. All right. So before we move on, it's time for game number 2.
Okay.
So this time I'm going to start a sentence and you'll finish it in your own words. However, you're going to pick 3 numbers for me from 1 to 10 so that I can ask those specific questions. You said 5?
Okay.
You said number 5 just now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the worst advice I ever received was?
The worst advice I ever received. Can we come back to that?
No.
Okay. The worst advice I ever received. Oh, you got me on the very first question. I think it would be to try a lot of things. No, not try. Oh, yeah. Got it. It would be to put my foot in many different places and to let basically, okay, how do I say it? I know what I want to say. I just don't know how to say it. Basically, people like encouraging me to do something that I know for a fact was off brand for me. Just in the case to make money. My plan, even as a business, yes, is to make money. I don't want every kind of money. I settle a certain path for myself. I have a certain brand. I have a certain, look. And I do not need people to tell me that I need I have to do this and do that to make money.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it is. The first thing that came to my mind when you said that was don't put all your eggs in one basket. But I think you're talking about when people talk about having multiple income streams and trying a lot of things, but sometimes the things that they suggest don't feel right to you as an individual.
Like, I guess basically what I'm saying is they want me to go down a general path that I guess all photographers should go down, as opposed to niching down, or as opposed to focusing on how I can make what I have and what I want to do, what I specialize in better. Okay. They want me to just do whatever just to make money.
Okay. Understood. Okay, so what's your number?
I'm choosing poorly. I want number 3.
Number 3. Okay, I think you'll like this one. My most rewarding experience so far was?
I think we covered this one. Yeah, this was, I interned for a photographer, a wonderful, amazing photographer, and she managed to get me she managed to get me a job on America's the Caribbean's Next Top Model. And that was so amazing. Being in the film industry, honestly, is so amazing, and getting to be a part of it. And then at the end of it, I get to see my name in the credits. So that was nice.
Okay, good. So that one was easy one for you. And finally, your third number.
Number 7.
Okay, sus. Mm-hmm. All right. Sorry, I have this question later, so I'm gonna go to the one under that. My apology.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
All right. So loving myself means
Okay. Loving myself means protecting myself.
also.
In business, it is very, very easy to just especially with my personality, want to help people.
Mm-hmm.
But there are instances where you can put yourself in worse trouble by doing everything and trying to help everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I have learned the hard lesson of making policies and sticking to them.
Okay.
Those policies are put in place to protect me.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would go all around the place helping everybody, doing everything for everybody, and then come back and there's nothing left for me.
Understood. Mm-hmm. So it's like you set your boundaries with some non-negotiables, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if I let just myself decide in the moment, then it could go either way. The policies are there so that I don't have to make rash decisions in the moment.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we're gonna move right on along to our third discussion, so to speak. Okay. So before we do that, let's see some of these comments.
Mm-hmm. So, I was trying to read them.
Avanda says it's amazing how people think long about loving themselves. I actually think it's something that a lot of us don't think about very much. So once you hear that question, it kind of stumps you. And what I've started to see is that a lot of people view self-love in completely different ways. So there are endless different ways to view self-love. And Digital Crystal is really excited about the whole concept of boundaries. I think it's something that we need to do. Is something that a lot of us don't do very well. And then we find ourselves all over the place because we've not set a certain set of boundaries for ourselves. Amanda says, okay, well, that's not being selfish. So she's agreeing with you. You need to do this. It's not being selfish. Proper Life is saying that self-love is like common sense. It's a scarce commodity. Right? And I'm loving the excitement from Digital Crystal. She's actually our speaker for next week, our guest for next week. But she said that was really, really good. And Proper Life is saying both are essential. Right? So those are the comments. So we're going to jump into the next section. Okay. So what is the one change that you had to make about yourself or in your life to create the success that you're seeing in your business today?
Sorry, ask me one more time. What is
the one change that you had to make about yourself or in your life to create the success that you see in your business today?
Um, you know what? Moving here
Mm-hmm.
also helped with that boundary issue because whereas say I was present, I was very fully present, I could do, you know, I had a lot more things that I could do. Not being there, being thousands of miles away,
Mm-hmm.
forced me to say no to some situations.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
So I guess moving kind of gave me a much better sense of clarity
Mm-hmm.
of some situations that I find myself in, and it forced me to definitely say no.
Okay.
It's like I physically can't do it. So,
Okay. So
mhm.
universe in a sense forced your hand. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's
Okay.
like you're not listening.
All right. So that being said, what is your definition of success?
That is a very good question. I know so many people have so many definitions of success. I, I just, for me, once I accomplish the goals I have set out for myself,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would feel successful. I don't want to be filthy stinking rich. I don't want too many people like around me in that kind of sense. You know, people need like validation from everyone. Or I don't need that. I just once I have attained my goals, once I photograph Rihanna, and once I, get these skills that I want, once I get recognition for the skills that I have, I will be
Okay. I like that. Okay, so what kind of changes would you say? I mean, it kind of ties back in, but what kind of changes would you say you've had to make in your relationships?
happy. You putting me on the spot.
You don't have to go all nitty-gritty, but I mean, like, you might find that there's a general thing that you might have had to do in most relationships, or there might be a key thing that might have had to change in particular or key relationships.
um, what had to happen in my relationships? Um, I know what changed for me,
Mm-hmm.
for me, is that I recognize everything I had to do to get to where I am right now. And I recognize that I had to put in so many different like effort from many different places, and it is not something that people notice from the outside. So I know for me, I am a lot more empathetic and sympathetic to other business owners, and it made me think of other other business owners. So
Mm-hmm.
even something as simple as like liking and sharing a post, I make sure I put in the extra effort for the people around me to
Mm-hmm.
get their business, to give their business the support, even if it is buying a product that costs like $10, or
Mm-hmm.
reposting something, or giving them words of encouragement, or telling them I have been through this.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I got through it. This is a suggestion. Even just talking, it made me really stop thinking about myself
Mm-hmm.
and focus on how other people need
Okay. So
help.
I guess what you're saying is that it essentially changed your relationship with yourself.
Maybe. I think so. It made me more aware.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me tap that. Um, Reach Your Goals Academy said being happy and content. I think that was her answer to her definition of success. So
Yeah.
going back a bit. Hi, Peterson. And then Chanel says that she loves that for you. Christabel says that this live is so inspirational. She's thanking both of us. You're welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Aw, thank you.
Matt Maynard, 246,
Mm-hmm.
says
Mm-hmm.
video call. So I guess that's how the relationship would have changed with you making that move. You're not seeing people face to face, so it's now more virtual. That's
Yeah,
a change.
that is my mom. She knows I call the house 3 different times a day so that I can see and interact with people. Yeah, I needed the video call.
Just to show how small the world is, even though she's all the way in Vancouver and I've never met her. I've never met you before. It only clicked the other day that, well, I asked her, she was family to a lady that I would have met years ago when I was working at a dental office, that I think was part of my mental sanity while I was working. And it turned out to be her mother. So it's a really, really small world. And I think your cheerful personality really reminds me of hers as well. So I could say you
Hmm.
got your joy from your mommy. Yeah.
She would be so happy to hear that.
Um, Also, okay, so Jason, who we've been
Hmm.
calling Papa Life earlier, he's
Hmm.
asking how important was it to have like-minded people in your immediate circle? And that
Oh,
if they were actually like-minded.
very much so. It was so important because Jay Winter makeup. Let me just sing Jay Winter makeup praises and Ada Nation as well. Um, because they would have been going through the same thing as me.
Mhm,
Usually you would share your pains with your friends, but there's
mhm,
something that your friends cannot understand unless they've gone through it. So
mhm,
having like-minded people close to me is like something goes wrong and I am able to express much clearly what it is that is wrong, and they're allowing me to see like a different side of the story that I never looked at before. And it's very different dealing with people who don't understand, because then they'll be like, oh, it gets better, you'll figure it out.
mhm,
That is good and all, but that's not 100% helpful. So having people who understand how everything works is
mhm.
like, okay, they can give much better advice.
Okay, that's good. I actually agree with that. It's really important to have like-minded people, but I also think it's important to have people who don't see things in the same way. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's a need for that balance, because
Mm-hmm.
imagine you're going down the wrong path and everybody
Mm-hmm.
has the
It's
same,
like,
you know,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
everybody just burning together. But if you have people
Mm-hmm.
who are seeing things differently to you, they actually might be able to come and say something that might help. Even if you don't take the advice, you can think about
Mm-hmm.
it and make
To make you
decisions from
think.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to have both,
Tools.
but
Mm-hmm.
you have to have enough strength to not see people thinking differently to you as, or take it as a criticism, and take it offensive, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so Avonda is saying that she thought you were going to say that you had to move away from the people who aren't the same level or direction as you, as it related to how relationships change. Any others? Jason is saying he finds that photographers tend to be very happy. I think, is that creative? Being in a
I
creative space.
wonder, probably,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay. And then he's also saying, well said. Okay. So I think I would have asked pretty much all of the questions that I had to answer for today. Um,
Uh-huh.
so now it's time for the giveaway. Let me look here. Joy, I know I would have said that a business owner would be able to benefit from a special surprise from Joy, but what we've decided to do is to offer it to individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So she's now offering from her Made in BIM collection. Is a collection or is a business in itself?
What is it? It's It's I won't call it a collection because it is so many different things that it offers. I would just say let's just call it a business, a
Okay.
customization business. Mm-hmm.
A customization business.
Business.
Okay, so she has a business called Made in BIM. So at this time, I'm going to invite everybody here to follow at Make It Happen with Chamara, at Made in BIM, or at Made PD.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to offer a small gift from her Made in BIM store and
Mm-hmm.
also plus 20% off of a selected item. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Once you win this, then you'd have a discussion with Joy so that you can make your choices as to what that, well, you'll get the gift and then you'll have a choice as to what you want the 20% off of as well. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I just want to explain a little bit more. Sorry, I
mhm.
just want to
No
explain
problem.
a little bit more. So for 2021, I am focusing a lot on improving Made in BIM. Made in BIM initially started as just like apparel for Barbadians to enjoy. I wanted to make it a whole lot bigger and better.
Mhm.
I wanted Barbadians all abroad to be able to enjoy it, as well as like we discussed that I really like craft stuff.
Mhm.
So anything that can be customized, like Christmas decorations and clothes, and like anything. I just bought a new machine to um, to take it up a good couple notches. So once you contact me, we'll be able to discuss your gift as well as what you will let your 20% off on. Mhm.
Nice. Okay. I must admit that I really didn't think through how the people will be winning this thing.
Mhm.
Let me see. Mm, mm, mm.
Thank you, Kirk.
Pardon?
Poison lizard. I was responding to poison lizard.
Oh, my Joy is gift enough for me. Um, all right. So the first person that can tell us what Joy said success means to her will get the gift from Made in BIM.
Ooh.
Mm,
This is good. This is nice. Joy said a lot of things today.
yeah, yeah. But we're talking about the success. What does success
Mhm.
mean to Joy? All right. So J Winter Studio has won the prize to achieve all of her goals. I mean, she summarized it, but that's pretty much on point right there.
Mhm.
So you can connect with Joy at Made in BIM. Sorry, mums, you missed out at Made in BIM to be
And she
able
was really gunning for it.
to let your friend. Okay, all right. So at this time, we have like 7 more minutes, 6 more minutes to be exact. I'll allow for anybody who has any questions to just quickly ask, but while your questions are coming up, I just want to take the time to thank firstly you, Joy, for joining me for my first episode of Make It Happen with Chamara interview series, as well as thanking all of you who would have taken the time to, even, whether it be the entire time or for a short period of time, to be a part of this and to make it as interactive as it was. I really enjoyed it. Um, I think we had a lot of good takeaways here. And when I get, well, not when I get the chance, this week I'll be posting some of the key takeaways that I had from this. And I'll also post a video on that Make It Happen with Chamara for you to be able to see.
Mhm.
Um, yes.
Okay, that
Mhm.
is no problem. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun. And like I said, this was a very very well done, a very well put together process. It was easy and I love it. So thank you so, so, so much for having me.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
congratulations to Joy Maynard for winning the competition.
Congratulations, girl. Okay, she also, before we go, she also asked, what is your favorite memory about your entrepreneurial journey so far? So this will be the last thing that we'll answer before we go.
Hmm
Mm-hmm.
My favorite memory. I think maybe it was the very first time that I opened Made in BIM for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually started selling things for everybody. And um, one workplace, one business place ordered like they've made like 10 orders from, and this was the very first time it was launching. So that made me cry like a baby. I had never cried like that. That made me cry so bad. So that was one of my favorite memories because then I felt, like people were actually liking my art.
Nice. I actually
Hmm
saw a video that you did the other day with the I remember you took a big massive bite into a cupcake, right? But I think it was really cool watching the process, and that's not, I know that's
hmm
not made in BIM. I was actually looking at some of the things on made in BIM, but I have to admit, I didn't get a chance to go through them as I would have liked to, before coming here. But I
hmm
do remember that video, and I was like, this would make me not only want to be a photographer, but if I can't be a photographer, I would definitely want to utilize you for 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 doing photography of any projects that I may have. I think
hmm
it was really awesome watching how the picture came to life because I think I saw the picture before I saw the video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
and it was really good. I think it's good to show people the behind the scenes as well. Okay, so
Yeah.
from Faye Marie, we have good job to both of us, and
Thank
from
you.
Jason, we have great production, guys, and then from Just Be Cool, say y'all live to cry. Um,
You mean love to cry.
oh, love to, oh, listen, I can't even talk because girl, I will probably do the same thing. But thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope to see you all next week for our next interview with Digital Crystal,
I
and
definitely would love to see hers for sure.
look out for the video. Um, look out for the video, which I'll literally post as soon as we finish here. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.